Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's that time, it is tarot time with Cindy. I'm going to do a general collective message. I'm actually going to pull out a card from the Shadows of the Middle Ages. I'm going to ask, what is the situation? Like, what's the situation, man? What's the situation? And then we're going to go into the archetype deck. And we're going to look at you, your friend, and your foe. And I'm going to basically kind of see like how you, your friend and your foes are working through a situation, what your motivations are, and all that stuff. Now, do I want to complicate it? To tell you, like, maybe the energies are reversed in this? I don't know. Maybe they're not. There's 3 energies in this. And sometimes the friend and the foe can be you on your best day and you on your worst day. You can take it like that too. Okay, so, excuse me. What is the situation? What is the situation? Oh, it's the Trojan horse. Well, isn't that interesting? I pulled out some really fascinating stuff in the collective, I tell you. Okay, so there's a situation here where somebody is pretending to be like, or something or someone is pretending to be good intention. I have gifts for you. This is a lovely thing, but there's something else going on here. This is actually an enemy. Okay, this is an enemy. The Trojan horse is an enemy. It doesn't know how else to get in. So it's going to try to get in a way that is kind of like the back door, or it's deceptive. It's a deceptive way to make, to get into a place where you otherwise can't, because they know who you are and they're not going to let you do that. So that's the situation. And Larry was laid on here a minute ago to have fluff. Interesting. The tiger is at the bottom. So there may have been aggression. Tiger. I'm being told that that represents something like Year of the Tiger. It could be Year of the Tiger. It could be, okay, I've heard like, it could even be like a country or something like that, right? Like, you know, like Canada's like the beaver. You know, like a lot of countries have an association with an animal. So for some reason, this tiger is really relevant. Like that, like the symbolism of it. But this is like something before. But, you know, that's also interesting because this is like upfront in your face aggressive. And you're going to know what that is, right? Where the Trojan horse is totally, it's just like, it's friendly. It's friendly. It's a gift. It's a lovely gift. You're going to love opening it. No, you're not. You're not. Okay. Oh, now I'm going to have the sniffles through the whole reading. Okay. So let's see. We're going to look at, there's a lot of cards to pull out in this, so give me some time to unpack it. Along with you, will try not to jump to too many conclusions early on, because we'll need some tarot with this. But, oh, okay. First card that came out is you. It's in the upright. It's victim in the upright. Something not right here, okay? But you are handling it well. Victim in the light is prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. Okay, this Trojan horse has bad intentions. Like, that's the story of the Trojan horse. It has bad intentions. And you're not playing into that game. You're not playing into the persecutor victim game here, which is definitely something that could be coming in with the Trojan horse. You're not going to let yourself be a victim to this. I like that. I mean, whatever's going on with this Trojan horse, right? You're not going to let yourself be a victim to this, but you're also not going to victimize others. So I don't know. You could be saying to them like, hey, don't open the door. Don't open the door. That's not what you think it is. Yeah, okay. Because, okay, the shadow of this would be playing the victim for positive feedback in the form of pity, an inability to maintain personal boundaries. So you are maintaining your personal boundaries here. You are not looking for positive feedback so everyone can feel sorry for you and whatever's happening. I feel like you're like legit trying to make sure that you're okay in this situation and to make sure others are okay in this situation. All right, okay. So what motivates you? It's in the upright. Oh, wow. Avenger. Okay. That's good. It's in the light. Desire to balance the scales of justice. Righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. That goes really well with the victim in the light energy. It goes very, very well with that. Now, what are your motives directed towards? I love it because that's in the reverse. You can tell with this deck, right? Because it's an obvious image of a woman from behind. So you can see if she's upside down or not. So it's, oh, it's teacher in the reverse. This is, okay, it has something to do, you're avenging manipulative or abuse to students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Okay, I want to kind of like, I want to broaden that because it would be like, it would be abusive and manipulative to allow yourself to be victimized and to maybe allow others to continue to be victimized, because if we sit in the victim, people will feel sorry for me and I can feed off of that energy. But it always rotates around again. Like the victim eventually becomes, when they're in that state, they become the persecutor. They really do. And the bullied often becomes the bullier if things are not addressed internally or on a deeper level. So you want to make sure here that nobody's being manipulated, nobody's being abused, nobody's being taught negative traits or destructive skills, because those are all really negative and destructive habits, like the shadow attribute of the victim. So, okay, y'all have a nice energy, not the ones that were attacking me in the Libra reading. I just want to say, I just got to put it out there. When you watch your reading and it is calling out a very negative personality trait or habit, and you got to go into comments and then attack the person doing the reading by attack them, insult them, but also say that, you're wrong because I'm not like that, or other people are not like that. You were literally proving the point with your comments. So anyways, you're not that people. And if you went to that Libra reading and you were like nasty in the comments, is not your fucking reading. You got a problem. Okay, so just gonna put that. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Y'all got look. None of us are perfect. Oh my God, none of us are perfect, and it is a real strong sign of narcissism or narcissistic behavior to believe that you are perfect and you could never do wrong. It's like, that's a sign of a narcissist. Okay. Your energy is lovely. I like it. Okay, your friend's energy looks nice too. Your friend is child magical, so that's nice. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. There's a real sense of innocence here. And I'm wondering if that's something that you're trying to prevent here. Somebody's innocence from being taken away from them. Right? Okay, the shadow of that is pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. I feel like believing that energy and action are not required for growth is a really good example of how someone can end up in a shadow state of the victim energy, right? I'm gonna continue to be a victim just so I can get positive feedback around it. Because nothing works out for me. Everything is bad. The world is horrible and everyone is horrible to me. So your friend sees a lot of potential in things, sees sacred beauty in kind of like everything. So, okay, it's also interesting because, there might be sacred beauty in the Trojan horse. Everything is a lesson and an experience, right, from us to grow in. But that would be a hard lesson. That's a difficult lesson, and that could take decades to recover from. Just going back to the actual story of the Trojan horse. So your friend's motives, well, nice too. It's addict in the upright. Helps you recognize and confront addictive behavior. So you and your friend here really do see things very similarly. You really do see the importance of being accountable for yourself. Life is not perfect and everything is not going to work out the way you want it to. Nobody said life was fair. Nobody said we were all getting out of here unscathed or alive. To be honest, we're not. This is a limited experience. So you and your friend, I feel like, have a really healthy viewpoint of yourselves and the situations that you might find yourselves involved in, whether those feel like good or bad situations. I'm real curious about this Trojan horse because it could be you and your friend totally see this. Oh, yeah. I know what this is. Your friend could kind of be like, yeah, I know what it is. It's a challenge too. I have to identify this. Maybe you or your friend have let sort of like Trojan horse energies into your lives in the past. People pretending to be like nice and friendly, right? Like that's kind of like what that is. But then once you get close to them or you get to see the real them, it can be quite nasty and aggressive, or there's a desire to sort of take advantage of whatever resources or whatever you have around you. Okay, now your friend's motives, what their motives are directed towards, is also something that is in the shadow. Oh, negative destroyer. This is intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential just for the fucking sake of it. Like that's what that is. Ooh, I really like you and your friend. I really do. You and your friend make a good team here. Your fucking foe's in the reverse. I'm looking at the card. It's in the reverse. Should we see? What is the foe's energy? Virgin in the shadow. Fear of intimate union. This person's afraid. So, okay, the foe is afraid to be more intimate with people, to be vulnerable, because there's vulnerability required with intimacy. The foe is afraid of intimacy. Now, look at the two ways. Actually, look at all three of your cards. There's kind of like arms wrapped around oneself. Isn't that interesting how that is taking place there? And it's the different ways that we can protect ourselves. Your friend is, just even though your friend, I'd say your friend is protecting themselves. They're just, your friend won't allow negative forces to taint their viewpoint of beauty that can exist in the world, or that does exist in the world, right? Because they do. I mean, they'll hold nastiness. They'll hold it back, but they're just kind of like a little magical pixie kind of energy. The foe is afraid of intimacy. And that could be someone who is playing the victim persecutor back and forth game. The foe's motives. Well, the foe's motives are, oh, this is so interesting. The foe's motives are in the upright. It's almost like different ways that we try to navigate life is showing up here. So the child eternal, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. The foe could be someone here who wants to maintain purity, but that's being governed by fear. I mean, that is the biggest difference here between you and your friend. Is it the foe's desire to maintain their innocence, their ability to see things without feeling like jaded or cynical, is fear. So again, this is an interesting reading because, right, like I've said before, the friend and the foe can show up in terms of the friend can be the best way that we are managing ourselves that day. And then the foe can be the worst way we are managing ourselves. So I think this, you know what? I feel like this reading has come out for a reason because I feel like it really triggered something in the Libra reading this week. Yeah. Okay. So what your foe's motives are directed towards. Prostitute in the shadow. Places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. Okay, that's interesting. They want to maintain the purity and see things with fresh eyes, but that's coming from a place of fear. They're afraid to get closer with others here. And to maintain this purity, material considerations need to not, because this is what they're kind of like pushing against or trying to fix or alleviate, right? Like material considerations can't be part or if there's if there's material considerations around this person, things that are helping to support them in their life, like structures around them, I want to say that they're maybe trying to figure out how to get around it. Security above self-empowerment. Because they're struggling with self-empowerment. The foe is struggling with self-empowerment. I'm gonna be like, I always find this card so interesting because, like, we live in a material world where, well, I don't know, unless you're living somewhere where you don't need any money at all. I don't know where that is. Like, everything is a resource-based experience here on Earth, and mankind is really taking that to a whole new level with, right, like monetary things and putting values on things specifically. I mean, where did that start? It started with living things, like, right? How do I trade fish and corn with you when, you know, well, okay, fish can be, 3 fish are worth a bushel of corn. So then we start to establish, like, that's kind of probably how it all started. And then we've just taken it to whole new levels. So putting value on the physical things in our life here, it's really hard to recognize where that doesn't exist. So to some, right, because finding someone in the light accentuates the challenge of surviving without negotiating the power of your spirit. That I feel is one of the biggest challenges that people face in life. Like I've done a number of private readings for people in situations where they either needed to go back to work or they had to stay where they were working simply for the benefits that they were getting. They didn't necessarily need the pay from that job. Their spouse, someone else made enough money, but they needed the benefits and they didn't like the job, right? And it's like, well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So that's why I always find this card really fascinating. It's not an easy energy to navigate. And I feel like at any given point in time, any of us can find ourselves struggling with the shadow or the light of the prostitute. It's like compromising a part of yourself or compromising a part of your, what would feel like your real freedom, because there's something here that you need, right? Is like what that's talking about. And this person is afraid. So when we look at that, it is kind of telling us that fear is not the best reason or motivator here. The underline is visionary. It's in the upright, so that's nice. Tiger, aggression. I think as these cards came out, I really started to look at the reading like in terms of, you know, your best day, how to not be a victim, how to find self-empowerment in situations where you might feel at a disadvantage, right? And then the foe is definitely an energy that isn't very good at helping us maintain that sense of sovereignty. But what with the Trojan horse, I'm really curious because this is how, and maybe it's how we interpret situations around us. The Trojan horse could symbolize our interpretation of something coming towards us. We may see it as negative, right? Because if we look it through here, I want to kind of say that the child magical energy as the friend's energy is, even if it is a Trojan horse, even if it's something that is disguised, right? There's always a lesson. There's always an area that we can grow. And then the next time it comes around, we can be better equipped and still have kind of like eyes wide open and not just shut down. Eyes wide open and aware and applying what I've learned in the past instead of being shut down and closed off. So let's add tarot. You are victim in the light. So I am going to say that I feel like there's something going on right now that is not right for you. It isn't right. But you're not going to, yeah, anyways. So I feel like I'm just going to say the same things I've said. Okay. Oh, Page of Cups. Interesting. Hope. Forgiveness. Small blessings. Hope, forgiveness, and small blessings. That's your energy. Your motives. The Queen of Swords with the Avenger. Wow. I like that. You might even be feeling like you're in a situation where your emotions are, you're required to keep your emotions small here. Or that feels like it's the best way for you to navigate whatever you're dealing with without playing the victim here. Like without being obviously being closed off from your feelings, but not being like really, really big and showing of those. This Avenger is definitely about the truth. And I love that, right? It's balancing the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. It could be like something that you are going through right now, something to right a wrong for you specifically, because this feels very personal with the way these cards have come out. And it is like to see things for exactly what they are, not to create an idea in your mind that serves your victimization. That plays into that is to look at it for what it is. The motives are directed towards the Eight of Wands and as a teacher in the shadow, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. It's wanting to move away from, it could even be like, you could have even found yourself at some point in the shadow of the victim and not wanting to do that anymore. Like not, if you yourself were feeling, not even feeling, but just naturally falling into the victim state where you were looking for positive feedback and pity from others. You want to move away from that. You want to move towards the truth of where you have self-empowerment and how you can use it. Your friend's energy is child magical. The Eight of Pentacles. It's somebody who, okay, it just feels like somebody who builds or creates, or maybe their work involves, their work could involve something to do with children, because we have the child card out twice, and you have the teacher card out. So it's seeing the potential for sacred beauty and building in that. Just this belief that I can do anything is possible, and I'm going to just keep working on that. That's your friend here. The motives are pushing against this addictive behavior. It could be addictive behavior, confronting an addictive behavior. The Seven of Pentacles, it's almost like always coming up with a new way to keep this addictive behavior at bay. Maybe this is something you've struggled with, like feeling like a victim at different times and utilizing that for sympathy or pity. And it, you know, it can be, if it's a habit, right? It's something that has probably gone on for a while, and maybe even likely something that you subconsciously learned through adults around you when you were younger. And it's like seeing past that. And it is, honestly, that is a big part of the shadow work that we all work on, are the things that we are unconsciously sort of doing that aren't really benefiting us, and they're sabotaging us moving forward, but they become a part of us. So our ego says, oh, if you're gonna like point that out in me, I'm gonna feel really upset and hurt about it and push back against that, because that's who I am, and who I am is okay. I have to be okay because I am me. And yeah, we're just not perfect, and we're working on it. So yeah, this is definitely the motivation here. It feels like with the Seven of Pentacles, there's always a different trigger, or there's always a different way that this might come around. And the friend is coming up with new ways to keep it, at bay, to keep it from, invading. So, okay, destroyer is what their motives, someone who destroys things just for the sake of it. Someone who's just intoxicated with destructive power. Destroying other people's dreams and their potential. See, that, connecting that with the Avenger feels really powerful. Like, I feel like I'm also tapping into something here where there could be you and a friend or someone else here who are actually like really proactive in terms of avenging the wrongs that are happening maybe in society or some other areas here. Could even, well, maybe the foe, I don't know. Okay, so what comes out with that? The Four of Wands. Oh, people who want to poop on the party just for the sake of it. The Four of Wands is sort of like the party, the happiness, the joy, all coming together and celebrating. People who just want to ruin the fun. Well, I won't say the fun, but being able to come together and celebrate. Could be a relationship here. This could be someone here who has an addictive, some sort of, okay, somebody here, and it could be the foe, could be someone else, but it could be the foe, who it's their behavior that even possibly the friend keeps trying to push, like, come on, just stop it, stop it, stop it. And it's almost like this person's behavior just keeps, it could be sabotaging a relationship, could be sabotaging like a marriage. Just because they want to do it. So that, to me, that feels like somebody that doesn't know how to build things. People that don't know how to build things will just spend more time trying to destroy things. I don't know how to do it. I'll look busy destroying other things. That'll make me look accomplished here, right? Where the friend is building beautiful things through beautiful insight, beautiful, inspiration, Okay, so again, consider it you on a good day, you on a bad day. The foe's energy is a fear of being intimate with the Hermit. It came out in the reverse. So the Hermit in the reverse. So the Hermit in the reverse. Give me a second. It's been a while since I thought about the Hermit in the reverse. It is so the Hermit in the upright is when we take the time alone, honestly, really, to do the shadow work, to get comfortable or uncomfortable with ourselves, to strip things away that are stopping us from connecting with more powerful energies like God, the heavens, our angels, because that's where we're going to find some of the biggest answers, but also often the most empathy and kindness at a point where we might feel either really bad about ourselves or we don't know how to feel. And there's a breaking down point that comes in with that Hermit a lot of times. But when the Hermit is in the reverse, this is basically, it's someone who, I know what the problem is. The problem is out there. The problem is not me, but not listening to God. It's kind of funny. Like, I want to say that the Hermit in the reverse to me is not far off of like something like the King of Wands or the Emperor in the reverse. There's an awful lot of ego that's running it. So it's the ego that causes someone here to have fear of being close with others. And instead of being close with others, they may try to play the victim persecutor. Because even just look at these cards, how they're like, this person is not looking over here. I guess that's you. You are not looking over here. But the foe is, and hurt me. You're hurting me. Like, I'm gonna play this game. I'm gonna play this game with you. Their motives. Oh. Now I'm thinking. Are the foe's motives directed towards the child magical, right? Because they do have the child eternal. So I'm not gonna give the foe a pass here. I was giving them a bit of a pass on that before. Because I would describe your friend as someone who's determined to stay young at heart, mind and body, the belief that anything is possible. And what are the foe's motives directed towards? It could have something to do with the material wealth, because your friend is building something here. I wonder how you and this friend, there's definitely 3 separate energies in this reading. How you are connected to the friend. I feel like you've dealt with this foe before. Whether it's the same person or you're like, I know that type of person. I know exactly that type of person. And I know what we need to do here. When you have the Avenger and the Queen of Swords, yeah, you're like, I know what we have to do here. I've seen this before. I know this. This does look like someone here who is trying to attack maybe another person's innocence. They're trying to maybe even take away whatever this friend has established as possibly some form of their own independence away from negotiating the power of their spirit, right? Because the minute you negotiate the power of your spirit, you are to some extent feeling like a victim. This is likely someone who can't, or maybe they're just finding themselves, the foe is finding themselves in a situation where they can't free themselves. And they may be feeling really negative towards someone who is keeping them at arm's length here. So the foe's motives are the Sun, it's kind of funny because in most decks, it's a little kid on a big white horse, right? And that's coming out with the child energy. The foe's motives here have something to do, I want to say, of making someone else see things more negatively. Because you and the friend are different. You are different, but the same. Like when I say the same, I want to say frequency and resonance. You and the friend are the same. But your lives are like probably have been very different from one another. And so you are different people. And that is kind of respected in the reading. But you and your friend have the same frequency and resonance. It is making things right. It is doing things for the right reason. It is recognizing where we have our own weaknesses and either just accepting that or building on it. You know, there was a couple comments in the Libra reading, to be honest, that where people were like, you know, I know I have this. What am I going to do? And one of the, like, you know what? If there's something about ourselves that we struggle with or we know it's not the healthiest thing, you have two choices. Well, actually, I guess we have three. Two healthy choices. The first choice is try to do something about it. Do you want to do something about it? And, you know, maybe you're just not at that point in life or you got too many other things going on. Oh my God, I can't right now. I cannot deal with that aspect of myself. That's just who I'm going to be right now. Take it or leave it, baby. And that's kind of like the second choice. It is making that decision to just take it or leave it. But it's not necessarily to throw it onto other people or use it to hurt other people. And I think it's a much more healthier comment, actually, to come in and say, you know what? I don't know what to do with this. Or I've been working on this and I'm hoping it's getting better. I think there's a lot more self-awareness in that type of a comment. But, okay. So, I'm really feeling like this foe wants to, let's see what comes out with the prostitute. The Three of Wands, what motivates the foe? What motivates the foe is the things that I feel they're reaping what they've sown to some degree here. They've possibly played themselves into a game here or a pattern of victimization and persecutor. Victimization and persecutor. And I'm seeing like a really deep rut on a path here. And it's so deep, it takes a pretty big step to try to get out of it. Like you have to have strength. It's like a deep lunge, coming out of a really deep lunge to get out of this rut. It's a habit that I don't think the foe can break. And because I think they feel justified. I think that's the other word I would attach to how this faux energy looks to me in this spread. Feeling justified towards taking away maybe somebody else's sense of well-being, happiness, the belief that anything can actually be possible, because they're not seeing it in their own life, but they're not seeing it in their own life because their ego is getting in the way, like in just a massive way here, the way the ego is gotten in the way. Yeah. There might be a sense of freedom that you and your friend have acquired through coming out of this victim persecutor pattern. And they do. They look at you. They're looking at you. The High Priestess, the Temperance card, the Moon, the Emperor, the Six of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. You know, I'm gonna say I'm kind of getting the impression from these cards that someone like this here, this is all really strong and powerful spiritual energy, right? Like these first three cards, a High Priestess, and then Temperance, like balancing things, alchemizing energies. And with the Moon, there's a lot of spiritual energy going on. And the Emperor is kind of like taking a physical stance. Six of Pentacles, this is how I'm going to evenly distribute what I have here. And the Eight of Cups is like, I'm not going, I don't like that. I'm going in a different direction. I think somebody feels like you're not giving to them. And when I say giving to them, probably playing into their victimizing. Let me just see. I want to pull something out for that Trojan horse. Show me the Trojan horse. It's the King of Pentacles. What's inside it? What's inside that? What's inside that King of Pentacles? Because it is, right? Like it's a big physical gift. That was the idea. But it's the stuff inside. What's inside the Trojan horse? The Page of Swords. Somebody still learning. Somebody watching. The Two of Swords. Uncertainty. And the Strength card. Okay. The Trojan horse actually, which I'm wondering if it's the foe, is someone who could actually look like they have made quite a bit of success in their life. They may actually even be fairly financially well off. This person could run their own business. They could be an executive or a CEO, a manager. That's what this all looks like on the outside. This person looks like they got everything together on the outside. But inside, they're not sure what to do. They're learning to trust their intuition. They could even be somehow like watching with the Page of Swords. Could be a bit of like a watching, a spying energy. And what are they watching? I feel like they're even watching the Two of Swords and the Strength card. Which is a bit like trusting, having faith, being strong, finding courage. So that's an interesting reading. The Nine of Swords is at the bottom. A bed of nails. I'm hearing a bed of nails. A bed of nails is an interesting thing, right? Because like looking at it, you might get a lot of anxiety. I know I would. If someone was going to ask me to lay on it. But I think the whole idea of the bed of nails is when you lay on it evenly, the nails are all, the weight of your body is evenly distributed on so many different nails that they actually don't sink into you. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you actually bleed a little bit or what happens. But then I think there's even like, there's some type of documentation that actually there's a lot of pressure points that are applied that can actually alleviate things. So it sometimes is facing pain to heal yourself. Ah, look at that. That's interesting. Facing pain to heal yourself. So that's what I have, collective. That was like a big, powerful energy coming through here. I really love what I'm looking at with you and your friend. And I'm going to do the extended. In the extended, I'm going to ask, what is the unexpected coming towards you? I don't want to look like more into that. I feel like I've looked really, really deeply into this. So I'm just going to ask, what is the unexpected that is coming towards you, your friend, and your foe? The link to the extended is in the description at the bottom of this video. If you do want to join the membership to get access to all of the extendeds, which is between 40 and 50 plus videos a month, make sure you choose the second tier, which is all extended videos. And thank you so much, everybody. Until next time, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.